Welcome back to another reaction for Witch Head Atelier, episode 3. I'm assuming this is for the tower? Maybe not? Ooh. Maybe we find out who he talked to? I don't know.
お前がこの海の底に足をつけるのも久しぶりだな。大行
Problem child, huh?
動の問題児め。
Okay.
問題児め。
昔の話だよ。アライラ。
どうだかな。また。だかな。またとんでもないことをやらかしたそうじゃないか。聞いたぞ。新しい弟子のこと。
もう知ってるの？噂。
Everyone heard about her like the same night he casted that spell, so I feel like nothing is secret here. As soon as someone knows it, everyone knows.
その足は速いな。
だって関係あるかもしれないんだろう。つばあり棒の連中と。禁止魔法が使われたのは4年ぶり。大事な手がかりだ。
そういうわけじゃないよ。試験がまだだから、
sure.
正式な弟子でもないしね。
なんだ、まだなのか。
早すぎるよ。それに時期も悪い。
ああ、そうか。今の時期、試験会場のダダ山脈は
1年で一番標高が高い。
The data range will be at the highest elevation.
一番標高が高い。こんな時に試験は受けさせられないよ。
I'm assuming it's flying. If it's high elevation, we saw Agot fly. He is flying, so I'm assuming it's flying.
命に関わるもの。
Okay. Opening. Now we do have a test that Agot wants her to go through. Is she just forcing this test on her behind his back? He was like, it's too dangerous. And she's like, oh, we are going to do it anyway? I mean, did we have any? No.
本当にやるの？先生もいないのに。いつやろうが受けるときはどうせ一人よ。一人よ。受けるときはどうせ一人よ。でもまだここに来たばかりだし。私は10歳の時に合格したわ。みんな弟子になるために受けるんだから、条件は同じよ。そっか。最初の試験は王の許し。持っていけるのは3つの魔法器と魔剤だけ。
Sure. I mean, you all trained for years and she's here for like 2 days. So I guess it's the same for you. Also, we do see some items. We see the pen. We see the little on the left side where you have your papers in, the round ones. I assume some ink at the bottom. I don't know what the parchment is at the top. On the right, we have the light picture. We have the water thingy, the walkie-talkie or whatever that is, and a balloon. I don't know. No idea.
魔剤だけ。誰の助けも借りずにダダ山脈の頂上へたどり着き、そこに群生する王冠草を取ってくるのよ。
First test is consent of the crown. 3 contraptions like the shoes and your components, so you can make new stuff, new spells. You have to reach the summit purely on your own power and get the herb. Okay.
目的地を指し
Oh, it's a guidance orb. Okay.
示す導きの魔神球と飲み水用に浮き水滴。扱えるのはこの辺りかしらね。
Yeah, how much were you able to use when you took this test? Also, only these 2?
さあ、行って。
The sound reminds me a lot of Outer Wilds.
あと靴ってないかな。靴？その靴も魔法器だよね。アガットもキーフリー先生も飛ぶとき靴底が光ってた。もしよかったらその靴貸してほしいなーって。やっぱりずうずうしいよね。ごめん、今のは忘れて。
I feel like the shoes would make this a lot easier, right? You could just fly up. I mean, just. She just puts them on, and now she has to take them off again.
貸してあげるから。さっさと。ありがとう。行きなさいよね。言い忘れてたけど、この試験を受けられるのは一度きりだから。不合格ならキーフリー先生に弟子入りするのは認められない。アトリエも出て行ってもらうわよ。
First off, how do you get back? Second off, why are you deciding when to take the test? He is somewhat stupid. I mean, it should be Kifrey who decides that, right? You were supposed to just teach her a little bit. And I do wonder, how long were you training before you had to take the test? If you only had like a week before you took the test, okay. Okay. But if you had years on years, then this is not really a fair test, is it? If she succeeds, I expect you to pay reverence to her.
でも頑張らなきゃ。もう後には引けないもん。導きの魔神球どうやって使うんだろう。あっ、こっちに行けってことだよね。
I don't know. I assumed it would be glowing, it would be like a compass, but I guess it's not.
よし。いや、
How does it even work? How does it work? This one is a little bit weird. Is that all you need? A circle and the symbol, and that's done? Because the shoes have a clear magic circle, so you know how it works. I also assume the vapor bubble, it does have some markings on it, so that may be how it works. This one seems outside of that. It does not seem like it has a lot of symbols on it to really be a magic circle.
こっちに行けってことだよね。よし、山登りくらいできる。
Now also, he was like, the range is at its highest elevation. The question is, and he also said she could die. Now the question is, my assumption was it was a flying hill or something, a flying island. Now, it may be that it is a mountain that changes height. And this is on the ground, maybe? Whatever the case, it is harder at the moment.
やれる。アガットは10歳の時に合格したって言ってた。
But she also trained for a lot
10歳でも
longer.
できたんだから。きっと。
I don't even know how old you are.
嘘。まさか。あれが多田山脈。導きの魔神球は上を指して。
So the data range itself is a flying island or something. And it is flying higher in the sky at the moment, okay. How do people get there unless they are flying? Now you have all the little balls, so you can fly from ball to ball.
やっぱりあそこなんだ。ああ。まさか空に浮かんでるなんて。
Also, is there a time limit? Because she could technically take a year or so to do this.
じゃーん。アガッ
Yeah, the problem is you don't know how they work. You don't have any idea. Now, the magic circle at the top, okay. I wonder what the triangles mean. You know, the arrows mean it is concentrated on the point. Triangles may be powered up or they shoot down. I also wonder if the circle at the bottom, the triple circle, does it have a meaning?
アガットから借りた靴。どう。え。うわ。
I mean, they are not hard to
魔
understand.
法陣が右足と左足で半分ずつ。
But I would be careful of flying now. It seemed like, as Argod was using those, splitting the feet was somewhat... It took a little bit more effort. So maybe they, as soon as you engage a circle, it is getting harder to separate it.
ずれないようにぴったりと合わせて。すごい。本当。
Ooh, that is interesting. It's like a little bubble that formed. Little air bubble.
本当に。
He's essentially standing on air.
浮いてる。
Okay.
キーフリー先生の言う通り、歩きたての子馬みたい。
I mean, that is fair. I still find it very interesting that it's like an air bubble. And we do see that the 3 circuits at the back are also activated. Is that maybe why it's an air bubble? So that is just speculation, but maybe the circle is the one that propels you upward, and if you put the heels together, you are more or less hovering in place. Something along those lines, maybe. Otherwise, I don't know how she how she's supposed to control it. Also, I'm then wondering, because the circuit is active as soon as you put it together, have one on each foot, and then you could more or less run through the air. But how do you deactivate it? Also, we do know the size decides how strong it is. So you could probably make it a little bit bigger and stronger therefore, but not by much. It's probably stronger than 2 smaller circuits.
でも飛べた
I mean, yeah. I would say you stood on air, but essentially flying, yeah.
飛べたら頂上まであっという間だもんね
I don't know. Especially with strong side wind and stuff.
よし頑張ろう
That was a nice transition. Like, wee! Yep.
すぐに慣れて自由に駆け回れるようになるよ。
すぐになれるすぐになれるになれる
I really wonder how people succeeded in this without flying. She only has this because she got the tools from Agot. But how did people succeed in this without flying? I'm assuming that whenever the range is lower, all the balls also are lower. So you may not need to fly, you just need to jump high, maybe? I wonder. So what is this? The seabed. Where he's underwater city was not what I was expecting. I assumed it would be like a building where higher the wizards meet or whatever, or the witches. But having a whole city underwater? Why do we have windows? We don't get any light down here anyway. Or is the water going to recede at some point? Is it like a tide right now?
申請書はこれだ。
Now we do have differently colored hats. The question is that important? Are these the different ateliers, different groups of people?
はい。トトレイ、12番だ。
はい
大講堂に住めばわざわざ取りに来なくても
Can't he just connect one of his window way with yours?
住むのに弟子だって連れてくればいいんだ大講堂は魔法使いの本拠地必要なものはすべて揃ってる
じゃあ必要な時だけ来るよ。
So this is the witch's stronghold. So they have everything they need here, but for some reason he doesn't want to be here. Why? At this point we have no idea. No, we don't really have any clue. It would also probably be better for all the apprentices. It's weird. Why? Aren't you in more danger outside?
要な時だけ来るよ。
持ってきました。
ありがとう。
Oh, hatred for the Great
子
Hall,
供嫌
huh?
いは根深いようだな。弟子たちはしっかり見ててやれよ。あのくらいの子供たちは大人のいないところで何をやらかすか
Yeah.
わからない。
As example, you could send out someone to do a test, even though they just learn magic. So he got a bunch of stuff, potentially for Coco, and he has a deep hatred for the Great Hall. Now, I would assume it's because they were in a position to help his family and did not do so. That's always a very easy go-to way to make a reason to hate them. Maybe there's other stuff involved. Who knows? But that is why he's outside. Okay. He just hates the Great Hall. Fair enough.
ないぞ。
Also, some of the balls go back up and down. Maybe it's like a platformer where you can go on to the ball, you wait until it gets high enough, jump to the other ball.
さっきよりだいぶバランス取れるようになってきたかも。これならもうちょっと上の方まで。
So, okay. It looks like controlling is similar to something like swimming. So she did this, perfect. But she did not disengage. Maybe she still had momentum from flying and was unable to catch herself. Okay. Engage again and just face plant into the next ball. Gotcha. Is this a good monster? It depends how it feels. If it is like, if it doesn't have any long hair, it is going just skin is going to feel bad. Get another. Yeah, I don't know what the 3 circuits are for. Because they don't have a sigil, unless the circle is a sigil. Maybe the first circle is a sigil, the second circle is a sign, and the third one is a circle. A brush buddy. You know what it is? Is it a good animal? Monster? Thingy? Ooh. It's a magic circle. How water resistant is the ink?
靴も泥でドロドロ。
I like this thing. Can we keep it? We have a problem.
魔法陣が流れて消えてる。嘘でしょ。拭ったから。やばいやばいやばいやばい。そうだ、上から書き直せば。
I'm just... What are we doing? We don't have anything as a solution anymore, do we? The ink is gone. The sigil is gone, or the size of the magic thing is gone. Circle. But do we... Are we going to build a bridge out of wood?
魔僕が中で全部こぼれてる。
The only thing I could imagine is that one of the tools is this obsidian dagger thingy. That one is maybe ink in a different form. And you can make ink out of that. But otherwise, she did say conjuring ink, but does she know how to make more?
どうしよう。ダメかも。
I mean, can you use that ink
あれ
still?
ねえアガト、ココ見てない？そろそろご飯の時間なのに。
ココならいないわよ。試験のためにダダ山脈に行ってるから。
一人で？まだアトリエに来たばっかなのに止めなかったの？ねえアガト。
普通は来る前に受けるでしょ。
そうだけど。
あんな簡単な試験さえ受からないならやっぱり弟子になるべきじゃないんだわ。私ね、私にできることができない子が嫌いなの。一緒にいて得るものがないもの。ましてや知らざるものなんて。心配しなくても挑戦すらできずに帰ってくるわよ。今の時期のダダさん。
So you know it's nearly impossible to do. So you just want her to be gone? What about the other two girls? They also are most likely unable to do what you can do. I'm assuming everyone has their own specialty that they concentrate on. So those you don't want to be gone or what?
脈は1年で一番高く。
I mean, I find this viewpoint really weird. I'm assuming she can't cook. So, if I have this viewpoint that I hate everyone that is unable to do what I can, and I don't see any benefit for them to be around, then naturally I would also assume other people think the same way. So, why would she be here? She can't cook, most likely. So, she shouldn't be here, right? Because she can't do what other people can do. So, other people should hate her as well.
で浮いてる。私の飛び靴だけじゃそこまで高く飛べないもの。決まりも知らず危機感もないよそ者なんて。私たちの世界に入ってきてほしくないわ。
Again, it's... I hope she gets punished severely, because all of these things she got taught early on, is my assumption. So you got taught all of this before you went to the test. So why are you not allowing her to learn the same things?
テティア、食べないの？
Especially because she knows that this is very difficult to do. It is very difficult to succeed in the test right now. And I'm also assuming that she knows it is very dangerous. So Coco is not going to die, but she could. And for having someone be that ignorant and send someone to their potential death, I feel like should be punished severely enough.
喋るけどなんていうか重たい
You could always just go to the range as well
気持ちいい
if you wanted.
おかわり心配してるのできただけじゃんもう
What are they even eating?
心配でもキーフリー先生を待つしかない
ダメだ。少し残ってた魔木で描いてみたけど浮かぶことすらできなくなっちゃった。びしょびしょだからすごくにじむし。足の裏に直接
Isn't this what you are not allowed to do? Wasn't that the whole point? You are not allowed to do it on your body.
描いたらダメだ。体に直で描くのは禁止魔法だもん。
No one has to know. You can wash it away. I'm assuming you can. I don't know. It could be that as soon as you draw it on your body, it is permanent.
こんな時にどんな魔法を使えばいいかわからない。
I mean, you don't know any magic. That's a problem. If you had like a month of training, if I had a month of training in magic, I would learn so much. So with what you have, like a couple days, it's not nearly enough to be able to understand or know what you need and can cast at the moment. I'm assuming if you had more training, you could have like an earth bridge or something else going on. You could theoretically make yourself a hot weather balloon, stuff like that, but the only magic you casted was the water pistol or whatever, some ice and firework. That's all you did.
アガットの言う通りだよね。魔法は誰でもかけるけど、誰でもうまくかけるってわけじゃない。
You know what? Anyone can ride a bike. Anyone. You know what everyone sucks at the first time they do? Riding a bike. Everyone sucks at riding a bike. They fall down, they fall over, they need the support wheels. Hey, after like a couple weeks, people are getting good at riding a bike. You don't need the support wheels anymore, you don't fall over. It's all just training.
やっぱり魔法使いは特別な素質のある人しかなれないのかな。
And she herself as well. Algod probably was not good at being a witch at the beginning as well. She probably made a lot of mistakes. But no, she's now so much superior. I hate people that can't do what I can.
小さな頃からずっと魔法を書いて
This is the problem. I still don't understand how they got chosen to be taught as children, and she did not. And that is also the point. Agot, before she did this test, she had years on years of training and testing and playing around. Meanwhile, our girl had like a couple days.
できてるんだもんね。
So they are not even on the same starting line.
私にできることなんて。
So this is naturally how she drew on the linen or cloth, which was what Mr. Kifrey was also commenting on, that she is doing a very good job. Now, we know that you need a symbol, you need the signs, and you need the circle to complete magic circle. The question is that correct? Could you do other magic forms? Because she's very good at drawing a line. Could you maybe do a square instead? Would that also work? Because that she can definitely accomplish. I'm wondering.
まっすぐ。
I guess she injured herself? I mean, this more or less hopefully showed her that at the beginning, she was not good at this as well. But here she was good enough to be praised by Mr. Kifrey himself.
へえ、この村にこんな素敵な職人がいたとはね。
It's
こ
like
れこ
that.
そ魔法だ。
ある。ある。私の魔法。
Now I'm interested. How is this going to work? What do we do? What did we do? What are we making? Okay.
水につけて少し湿らせたら。
Okay. So instead of using a pen, you are using a stone. Okay. Because you are more familiar with that shape. Okay. Okay.
濡れてたマント、泥が乾い。
So are we going with the balloon?
でパリパリしてる。これなら書けそう。
I really like how the cluster forms here. I like this in the first episode as well. A new tool, huh?
使い慣れた道具に持ち帰ればいい。
Also hear how uneven the line is, or how not clean the line is at the edge. A little bit of bleed.
自由に駆け回れるようになる。
Now the question for me is, can she make a circle? We only saw her make a line, but doesn't mean that she can't do circles as well.
自由に。
Can we keep this? It's cute.
よし。
Did you make yourself a little kite? Okay. I mean, we have learned that the bigger the sign or the circle, the magic circle, the stronger the effect it is, or it is going to have. So this is going to be interesting. Also, the more neatly, the longer the effect, right?
おはよう筆虫。あなた警戒心ないのね。すごく不格好な魔法陣でしょ。正しく書くなら門は真ん中で矢はいくつ。
To draw one properly, the sigil needs to be centered and the signs are supposed to be uniform. Okay. So I'm assuming a wind sign and one big arrow. Oh, no. So she's combining what she learned. She's like, give me a ton of wind in this direction. And she's just going to hopefully fire to the right ball. So she essentially made a rocket. She can't steer well. She can't control necessarily where exactly it goes. She just aims it at the target and hopefully we land.
均等に置くべきなんだろうけど。
However, we are landing.
べきなんだろうけど。矢の長さが偏ってると勢い。
The sign unbalanced.
勢いが加わりすぎるって教えてもらったから。
Which is also interesting that this is the only thing she learned. She learned unbalanced sign is too much energy in one direction. She learned that you should have the sign centered, which is interesting. So the sign doesn't need to be in the center. Huh. So the sign, I assume, decides where the element spawns. If you have it at the center of the paper, it spawns at the center, the ball of water we saw. But if you have it like here at the edge, it would spawn at the edge. But if you have it at the edge, it is very hard to control the power. Because normally you want all the lines to point in one direction. So you can control where the ball of water in that example goes. But she just wants the wind to go into one direction. So she doesn't need it to spawn in the center. She can have it spawn at the edge. And then she has more power she can put into the lines, which propels the wind further. Okay. Okay.
逆に一本だけですっごく長くしてみた。
I wanted to see what would happen. Now, here's the problem. How about we don't experiment? Like, hey, what happens now? Because again, you made a rocket, and I'm assuming you are going to hold on to that rocket. And it would be nice if you at least had an idea that this should work in a theoretical way. Because I hope you are aiming at the range, wherever that is.
うまくいくかはわからないけどね。
Also, I'm assuming she has not completed the circle yet. Because otherwise it would fire, right? Or is there a way to not have a circle activate?
あなたも来るの？
Yeah, I want to go on your suicide mission as well. Let's go.
そうならしっかり捕まってて。魔法陣を閉じるよ。
Yeah, aiming would have been nice. Or is her goal just into the air? And then we are going to glide, maybe.
なんで矢の向き間違えちゃったかも。
The sign's direction. Does it matter in which direction the sign looks? I thought the line decides in which direction it gets propelled. No? It seems like it is going in the... No, it is not going into the right direction. Is it? No. I assumed in this case, the sign at the top, it would push to the top. So it would go the other way. That was my assumption. But maybe the wind is getting caught by the cloth.
成功だ。私自分の魔法で飛んでる。本物の空飛ぶマントなんて夢みたい。夢みたい。
I'm happy for you. I am scared of heights, so it's nice. You can fly, you can do stuff. You know, everything that goes up has to go down. Any idea how to accomplish that? Just asking for a friend? I like the light of the little compass reflecting. Hmm.
母さんの手伝いで覚えたことが魔法の助けになるなんて思わなかった。宝冠層はまだ上だ。
Yeah, which one of these?
宝冠層。
Also, we have no idea how to get back. Just a second. I feel like I would have already had like a ton of heart attacks just through this little maneuver, nearly falling off. Now, I was like, okay, you could just land, but she can't deactivate her cloak of flight. So she needs to grab one of the plants, herbs, whatever, go back down, and then she can more or less let go of the cloak. Because then she doesn't need it anymore. Just try again until you get it. Why do we see why do I feel like this is going to get loose. Now I see why she has such a hard time. What a transition. Holy shit. Because I was like, oh, maybe Kifri is coming. She's so cute here.
お母さん。待っててね、お母さん。自分のしたことの責任ちゃんと取るから。
I mean, I feel like your mom would be fine if you just survived and lived a good life.
じゃあここは一人でダダ山脈に試験を受けに行ったのかい
She did not. Argot sent her. Don't get it twisted. She sent her. It's not that she went alone.
危険すぎる今すぐ止めに行かないと
でも中断したら失格じゃ。
そもそもまだ受けるには早すぎるよ生まれた時から魔法が
Why are you hiding, stupid?
身近な僕たちとは違うんだここにもしものことがあったら失うのはあの子だけじゃないんだよし
Why are you hiding? She was so full of herself, but now she's too scared and just too much of a little, you know? At least be honest. Be like, I did it. I stand by my decision. Don't be, you know?
あれ？
ココ
よかった。無事だったんだね。テキアたちすごく心配してたんだよ。わかった。王の許し取ってきたよ。
Yeah, she did something you could not do.
これで証明になったよね。
ココ万全の準備も基礎知識も足りココ万全の準備も基礎知識も足りないままでむやみに魔法を使うのがすごく危険だってこと君はもう知ってるはずだ一歩間違えたら死んでいたかもしれないんだよ
Can we talk about that she got sent there? It's not like she was, oh, you know what? Let me take the test. Just let me do it. Let me raw dog a very dangerous test. Sure.
もう二度とこんなことはしないで
ごめんなさい、キーフリー先生。
She has nothing to apologize for. She got sent there.
それに危険を冒してまで証明しなくても君はもう僕の弟子だ
Ooh. Is that the hat? I feel like it's a hat. Maybe even some special uniform, but most likely it's a hat, right?
これ。
魔法使いである証誇りでもあり魔法を悪用しないために与 頭にはめる枷でもある。
Holy crap. You know, they could have just shown her have the outfit. No.
魔法使いである
They went
証。
through all the trouble animating
誇り
this.
でもあり、魔法を悪用しないために頭にはめる枷でもある。 それをかぶっている限り、その重みを忘れないで。とんがり帽子は君の魔法を見ている。大事にするんだよ。はい。よし。
And she deserved it. I mean, she did the stupid test. She, without real knowledge, she was able to overcome it. And interesting also that the test is more or less self-imposed, or Mr. Kifri is most likely doing the test for the new potential recruits or apprentices. But there's no requirement to do the test.
じゃあ上に戻ろうか。
まずはご飯食べないとだね。
Do we have a name for a little boy?
お風呂も入った方がいい。
Ooh. So the frilled heads, huh? Is it the little... the rim that is overturned? Is that the point? Because it is a pointy head otherwise. Oh, I see you were watching, huh? Why?
種が芽吹いた。
So my assumption was that they just circulated their magic books in hopes that some people will uncover the secret and magic will be free again for everyone to use, slowly but surely. But now it feels like Coco is there for a reason. Is there something more going on? Is there a reason they needed Coco there? Coco is more or less infiltrating for them. But why? Why do they want to do that? Is it maybe to find a cure to the magic she used? Maybe they need a counter for that as well. What else could it be? I don't see many reasons. Because they don't have Coco under their control. It's not like she is a spy. I can't think of other reasons necessarily. Why? Because the seed has sprouted. So the seed, meaning Coco, more or less coming here, being a witch. Maybe Coco is important in some other way. Now, I could imagine, even though we have not seen anything in this regard, that there was maybe a prophecy that that is why they had the book at the fair, and they were like, the prophecy was you are going to meet a young child who's going to be interested in magic, and you are supposed to give them the book. And through the butterfly effect, it is going to help you achieve something else that you want to achieve later. What that is? No clue. That is the only other way I could imagine why they are so interested in her. becoming a witch. Because otherwise, I don't know.